One thing I have not done, and I've noticed it, I just noticed it yesterday, is that the women have never really been a part of the news videos, so I'm changing that up now. But the road to WrestleMania is upon us, as last Saturday started the road to WrestleMania, as it always does, with the Royal Rumble match. And again, if you missed it, Co- I've never actually done that. Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley are going to WrestleMania to challenge their respective champions, with Cody Rhodes challenging Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. And now we know Rhea Ripley will be challenging Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. The only question is, in my opinion, what happens if Rhea Ripley wins? I know that the WWE draft is right after WrestleMania, so things could change in an instant. But where does that leave Judgment Day if Rhea Ripley gets the victory over Charlotte at WrestleMania? Where does that leave the Judgment Day as far as their insurance policy, Rhea Ripley? Because the momentum is there for the Judgment Day. Unless maybe Triple H has the plan to move the Judgment Day to SmackDown. Who really knows, to be honest with you? Or maybe they switch the brands for the women's championship again, having Rhea Ripley move, take the SmackDown Women's title to Raw, and whomever the women's championship holds the women's title on the Raw side move to SmackDown. As Bianca Belair has led the Raw brand for the better part of the last 2 years, so her shifting over to SmackDown would not be the worst thing in the world, especially if Charlotte Flair is still on SmackDown, because that would be a money match to begin with. Charlotte versus Bianca. But with that being said, the question remained, if Rhea Ripley is fighting Charlotte Flair and Cody Rhodes is against Roman Reigns, what do we have for the Elimination Chamber? And the fact of the matter is, one Elimination Chamber is for the shot against Bianca Belair at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship as the final four of the Royal Rumble. Raquel Rodriguez, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, and was it Alexa? I'm gonna have to look that up and get back to you. But the final four of the 2023 Royal Rumble and two other opponents will collide in the Elimination Chamber for the right to challenge for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Those are, again, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and actually Alexa Bliss wouldn't be in the match because Asuka. That's who it was. Sorry. Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, Liv Morgan, and Nikki Cross will collide in the Elimination Chamber with two other names yet to be determined for the Elimination Chamber match. It is an interesting. We don't usually. I'm not going to say we don't usually see the women in the Elimination Chamber, but more the idea of the final four of the Royal Rumble being placed in the Elimination Chamber for the right to challenge the other women's champion is an interesting concept, in my opinion, and something that is. Honestly, it's something that should be done more often in WWE to value the Final Four. And also, if you don't know what to do with the Elimination Chamber, it's the perfect way to use it. But I also know that right now, this is what we talked about in the other news video, as Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford will compete in respective matches next week against Elias and Damian Priest. Damian Priest against Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford against Elias to fill up the final two spots in the men's Elimination Chamber set for February the 18th in Montreal for the WWE United States Championship. with Austin Theory defending his United States title against Seth freaking Rollins. Against Seth freaking Rollins. Johnny Gargano and Bronson Reed. And one more person. I apologize. I should have wrote it down. Point is, Austin Theory will be putting his United States title on the line in the Elimination Chamber. In my opinion, this is the most prominent placement for the Elimination Chamber on the I'm getting caught up on my words. This is the most prominent position for the United States title on a pay-per-view in a very long time. And it is the first time that the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view or the Elimination Chamber match type is set to be for the United States Championship as the Intercontinental, the Tag Team, and the World title have all been contested under the Elimination Chamber rules, but the United States Championship has never been defended inside the Elimination Chamber, so it will be a first time ever, to my knowledge, for the Chamber to house the United States Champion. And you could hear it now that Austin Theory is complaining, bitching, and moaning for the fact that he has to defend his United States Championship in the Elimination Chamber. And, rightfully so. But, okay, so right now it is just Seth freaking Rollins. No, there's somebody. Is it just Theory, Rollins, and Gargano? No, it's Theory, Rollins, Gargano, and Bronson Reed. Yeah. I know how to count, I swear. But it is a rare sight, and it also furthers the idea that Triple H is trying to do his best to elevate the mid-card championships and put them more in a position where people don't write them off as nonsense matches, and put them more in a position where people care about the titles and perceive them as something of importance. But February 18th is not just for the Elimination Chamber, it is also where Roman Reigns will defend the Universal Championship against Sami Zayn in the main event in Montreal. It is something that a lot of people have been savoring at the idea for months. And even with how things went leading into the Royal Rumble, people thought Sami could win the Royal Rumble and challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. But instead, WWE is going the route of having the hometown boy challenge Roman Reigns at the Elimination Chamber. And I'm sure at that pay-per-view we will get a better, clearer picture of what will happen for Sami and Kevin at WrestleMania. But we got a little bit of quick-fire news the fact of the matter is, the news with the Elimination Chamber and the United States Championship, didn't go as well as I planned. But Pat McAfee said on a show that he was actually offered a spot in the Royal Rumble, but turned it down because there's only so many spots in the Rumble and they're hard to come by, so he didn't want to occupy a spot and do a disservice to the Elimination Chamber. To the Royal Rumble. Speaking of the Royal Rumble, though, Roxanne Perez, it was said by Brian Alvarez on the Wrestling Observer that Roxanne Perez was given her spot in the Rumble as a taste of what to expect when she is on the main roster, but they didn't want to give her too much because of the fact that she has a title defense next Saturday at Vengeance Day against Toxic Attraction. But those are little snippets and little nuggets. Like I said, quick fire news. But the big picture is, on February the 18th, alongside Battle in the Valley from New Japan Pro Wrestling, it will be Elimination Chamber. Live at the Bell Center in Montreal, Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn for the Universal Championship, and Austin Theory will defend his United States title in the Elimination Chamber against Seth Rollins, Johnny Gargano, and Bronson Reed, with 2 other spots yet to be determined, and the number 1 contender for Bianca Belair at WrestleMania will also be crowned in the Elimination Chamber. It promises to be a spectacular night in Montreal on February the 18th, but with that being said, I will see you in the next news video.